mi nena. Gracias a Dios. Bringing my baby back home safe. I was so scared. I prayed for you every night. I thought about you on the street, all alone. No one to help you. It's a miracle you're alive. It's okay, Mama. I'm sorry I scared you. Does it hurt much? No. See, it's almost all healed. I don't feel a thing. I made an appointment for Julia to have a consultation with Dr. Warren. He's one of the top plastic surgeons in the Northeast. He's gonna cut my baby again? No, Mama. He's developed an incredible new laser technology. And Dr. Warren's made himself familiar with Julia's case. He thinks she's the ideal candidate. Doctors today, they can't perform miracles. You'll be pretty again. Don't worry. Maybe, Mama.
Go ahead, Papa. Say it. Tell me how I screwed up for the umpteenth time, how I worried Mama to death, how I made Maria...
Julia, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything. For all the harsh words, the misunderstandings. Maria tells us that in your heart you feel unwanted, unloved, that we, your family, have turned our backs on you. That is not true. If anything would have happened to you, I don't...
Papa.
I know I have never said it. It is wrong. But it's just my way. I love you, Julia. I love you with all my heart. My dear, dear little child. You're as beautiful to me now as you were when I first held you in my arms. So, mi hija, por favor, don't ever leave us.
I love you, Julia.
You're pushing it, you know that? If you was a man, I would smack you up.
Well, you'd try to take me out like you did Louis Greco?
Are you done saying you're sorry? Get lost.
Well, you still haven't told me why you went above and beyond to help Julia.
Am I under arrest? Then get lost!
See, the way I see it, cut cheek notwithstanding, Julia can still offer up a pretty sultry come-hither look.
Come what?
Yeah, I figure that you were attracted to Julia. You brought her here so that you two could, get it on.
You're crazy.
What's so crazy about betting Miss East Texas? Lots of guys have done it. It's Julia's down-home way of saying howdy.
Julia ain't no whore.
Oh, I didn't say that she was. She just acts like one.
Not here. Not with me.
Oh, but maybe you weren't her type. But walks like a whore and talks like a whore. Is this what they're wearing to the Metropolitan Cotillion this season?
Give me that.
Don't tell me that that's yours. How could I have been so slow? It was Julia, wasn't it? The girl that was hiding in your bathroom? The one that Louis raped? The one that Louis said was a hooker? It was Julia.
Louis didn't rape Julia.
That isn't Julia's dress?
No.
And Julia wasn't the one who...
No.
Come on, Noah. Then who was it? She must have a name.
I done told you she don't want it broadcast. How many times I gotta tell you?
Look, Noah, why don't you give me some credit, okay? Julia's been staying here for weeks. What's the sleeping capacity for damsels in distress? More than one? What'd they do, take turns sleeping on the couch? Come on. You're running a halfway house for distressed girls? I'm not stupid, okay?
You're right, it's Julia. You happy?
No, I'm not happy. Rape is a very violent and criminal act. It's the ultimate humiliation and degradation.
Julia don't want anybody to know.
I understand how painful it is for a woman to come forward about something so humiliating. But Julia has to deal with what happened to her. She needs counseling. She needs support.
Suppose she get all the support she needs at that mansion?
Well, she won't get it if she hides the fact that she was raped.
What she hides is her business. So you keep quiet, you hear?
Who else knows about the rape besides you and me and that scum Greco?
Just my Aunt Grace. All right? So shut up about it.
I think that Julia is making a very big mistake. But if that's the way she wants it, I won't say anything. And what makes you so sure that your Aunt Grace isn't gonna say something?
To who? Some old lady at the bus stop?
No, your Aunt Grace is working at Wildwood now. She's Dmitri Marek's personal secretary.
She don't know?
Probably.
Thank you.
Gracias, muy gentil.
You're welcome. Anton?
No, thanks.
I would like to hear more about this laser that will help Julia.
LASER's an acronym. It stands for Light Amplification by Stimulated Emission of Radiation.
Radiation?
Yeah.
Oh, Mama, it's carefully controlled and calibrated. You see, the laser beam helps stimulate the healing of the tissue without an incision and usually without any residual scarring.
Laser surgery is definitely the wave of the future.
And Julia's lucky. Dr. Warren's one of the best.
So there's still a chance that she will look like she did before the accident.
Don't count on it, Papa. Do you remember Addie Bedlow?
Oh, that was totally
Who's
different.
Addie Bedlow?
She's this girl from our hometown. She was in a car accident and she went face first through the windshield.
They tried reconstructive surgery on her. She looked like the Bride of Frankenstein.
But she had multiple facial and scalp lacerations. I mean, the doctors practically had to start from scratch on her. You know, Dr. Warren gave me an album of before and after pictures of some of his patients. Do you want to see it? Honey, would you grab that album for me, please? Now, I just want to warn you, some of these before pictures are a little hard to take. Like this man, for instance, he had third-degree burns over 30% of his face.
Ay, Dios mío.
Yeah. And then, same man, after just a short-term laser treatment.
That's incredible.
You'd never know he was burned.
Yeah. And then there's, let's see, there's this lady, and she had a birthmark over half of her face. And then, right there, check that out.
Saints alive. She looks lovely.
What do you think? There's all kinds of success stories in here. There's that one. And that's one.
Do you really think that Dr. Warren might be able to help me?
I'm sorry, Mr. Merrick. I don't mean to interrupt.
Grace, I'd like you to
What are
meet...
you doing here?
I see you made it home safe.
I asked you what you're doing here.
I work here for Mr. Merrick.
Grace was the one who told us what happened to you, Julia.
You told them?
All I said was, you...
Julia.
So I thought sweetbreads were something like, I don't know, cornbreads or pastries or whatever. And then they bring in this whole
No graphic
pile.
descriptions are necessary. Thank you very much.
I had to drown the whole thing in ketchup, and I think I nearly started a riot in the kitchen.
I'm sure you did. You know something, if you'd paid closer attention to I Love Lucy when you were a kid, none of this ever would have happened. Oh, Jinkies Kel Supreme.
Have you heard from Dixie?
Yes, she's landing later this afternoon.
What's her luggage doing here? Out of my way.
Whatever boys come in.
Dixie, my dear, why didn't you let me know you were home?
Well, I just got home. I was going to call you.
Oh, never mind, never mind. Was Laney able to talk some sense into you?
Oh, Palmer, you old smoothie.
Lainey was wonderful. She let me do most of the talking, which was a refreshing change of pace.
What did you decide?
Well, actually, Tad and I haven't even discussed it yet, so...
Well, what are you waiting for?
Some quiet time alone with my husband. So if you don't mind, I'll just call you and Opal, all right?
You think I'm going to go home and sit by the phone when your life is in the balance? No, I want to know right now.
I think we should get him an ear trumpet. She said she'd call you later.
It's bad news, isn't it?
Uncle
If we're good news, you'd tell me.
Uncle Palmer.
You're going to go through with it, aren't you?
Oh, can't you just put a cork in it?
You're going to let some sawbones slice you open, rip out a kidney, and give it to that... I can't believe that you'd do that.
Who's gonna slice you open? Are you gonna die? No, sweetheart, I am absolutely not going to die.
But Uncle Palmer
Your Uncle
said...
Palmer is an entirely different story altogether.
Never mind what he said, all right? I would never do anything that would end up hurting me or you, okay? Now, you know what a big chicken I am. I'm a super cluck. That's what your mom is, okay? So I don't want you worrying that anything bad is going to happen to me or you, okay? Okay, all right. Gloria, will you take this young gentleman upstairs and make sure he gets his teeth brushed and his hair combed before school?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Erasure.
Dixie, I take it that means you're not going
Would
through...
you try to be human, for heaven's sake? Honestly, Palmer, if you're not jumping up and down in her face, you're assuring Junior of a long, illustrious career on the analyst's couch. What kind of thug terrorizes a child?
I didn't know he was standing
I don't want to hear it. Get out of my house.
I'm sorry if I upset the boy. I'll talk to him if you like.
Oh,
No, I
terrific.
think you've done enough damage for one day.
Dixie, I'm only here because I love you.
Uncle Palmer, I think you should just do what Tad suggested and leave.
I will leave. But before I do, I want to leave you with something.
More abuse?
As you very well know, I loved your mother with all my heart. And I look at you and I see the kindness in her eyes and the blush in your cheek. There isn't one day that goes by that I don't miss your mother. And her death was the greatest tragedy of my life.
That's very interesting. And why weren't you there, Why were Will and I, two children, left alone to bury our mother?
It's my eternal regret that I wasn't there beside her at the end. If anything happened to you, Dixie, I don't think I could bear it.
Well, Uncle Palmer, this is not about you, all right?
I know, I understand. But just promise me that you will put your well-being above any other consideration. Would you promise me?
All right, that's
please?
enough. Come on.
All right, I'm going. Dixie, I'll be at home, waiting.